I used to think I was decent at shooters. I've played dozens of them and generally held my own. Whatever challenge came my way, I could usually power through. That all changed when I started playing Counter-Strike. CS2 is brutal. It chewed me up and spit me back out. I wasn't ready for how punishing this game could be. I've been putting up a fight, for sure, but sometimes I just get crushed. And once it starts, it snowballs into what I call the crushioning. Just getting absolutely steamrolled by the enemy team. CS2 is tense, it's frustrating, methodical, and somehow it's beautiful in its cruelty. So, with all that punishment, what keeps me coming back? And what makes this game so captivating? My first experience with Counter-Strike was back in high school. To the detriment of my grades, I'd skip class to go play Counter-Strike Source. There was a certain class where the teacher would set up a LAN server and just stomp the students. The server was called
Redacted
Stomping Grounds, and it lived up to its name. I hadn't fallen in love with the game or anything. I'd just rather play it than go to class. Instead of doing math, I'd play CS. Instead of dealing with my insufferable piano teacher, I'd play CS. Instead of doing, well, anything remotely academic, I'd play CS. While my grades took a hit, so did I. The Stomping Ground was filled with blood, fear, and one bee-hopping teacher who terrorized us all. I probably never even got a single kill. Like, ever. I was awful. I had no clue how the game worked. This wasn't Call of Duty. Running and gunning just wasn't gonna cut it. I'd love to say this was my training arc, the moment I locked in and got good. But no. I just kept trying the same things over and over, never learning where to be or how to aim, or anything for that matter. Still, it was fun. All of us students were united against a common enemy, and that actually felt kind of beautiful. It's wild how adversity can bring people together, even when it's a teacher with an op. So, to really understand what makes CS2 feel different, I decided to revisit something I haven't touched since I was 10. Call of Mother Heckin' Duty, man. Steam has a ton of them, for $60 each. $60 for Black Ops 2? What in the economic crisis is that? I'm not about to drop full price on a decade-old COD game. I don't have that kind of money, and also, no. The only one in my library is World War II, and I didn't even buy it. Someone in my Steam family did, and I'm gonna shamelessly ride that wave. I'm not touching Warzone, though. Those reviews read like horror stories. I'll be blunt, this was pure out of my... I hated my time spent with the game, which was very short. One might say I didn't give it a fair chance, and that is completely correct. I joined in a game and people were immediately calling each other slurs. So, nothing out of the ordinary as far as Call of Duty goes. Hey man, I was in those old Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. I still have flashbacks about it. When I close my eyes, I can still hear the squeakers. I remember getting Call of Duty Black Ops when I was like 10. It was Christmas and I had no idea what was in store. I had a goddamn cow of a time. I love the story, I love the guns, the multiplayer. I love playing it with friends. I played so much that I broke the disc and had to get a new one. All this to say, I know what it's like to enjoy Call of Duty. I've been there. But this is not it, Buster. The most persistent thing to me is the flavor here. This flavor can be described as bland, with a little umami. COD World War II failed to grip me. It feels like all the ingredients are here for a good experience, but this soup is, alright, enough with the food metaphors. I'm just trying to say it looks good, sounds good, but doesn't deliver anything unique. There's just nothing that stands out here. I mean, the guns shoot straight. Come on now. How are we gonna have the bullets go the right way? Okay, honestly, I don't mind when a gun in an FPS shoots straight. Some of my favorite games have accurate weapons. What does bother me, on the other hand, is regenerating health. It's like there aren't consequences for your actions. That just wrecks the tension. You just got lit up by a machine gun? Just sit behind a box for a minute. I want mistakes to matter. Punish me, god dang it. And you know what? Playing this game was a punishment. One of my first experiences with it was queuing up for a free-for-all. I waited like 10 minutes and then gave up. That's all on me though, I should have had the foresight. Nobody's playing this. This game came out in 2017. COD games just don't live that long, I guess. Before you know it, here comes a new COD right out of the slop tube. Nasty. At least for me, CS2 is so much better than literally any Call of Duty game. One of the things I'm so jazzed over is the steep learning curve, which may be a strange thing to get jazzed about. I guess it means depth to me. World War II was just pick up and go, but CS is a different beast. It will show you how bad you really are. Players are going to one-tap headshot you and you will have no idea what happened. Failure is the default. That is what I love about this game. You start as an ant beneath the boot of every other player. To get out of this stage, you have to claw your way out of the rut. Truly embrace the grind and practice your ass off. There's so damn much to learn in this game, and I feel like I've hardly scratched the surface. I'm essentially a monkey looking at a monolith here, just no comprehension. And I'm on the workshop downloading maps to collect whatever shred of knowledge I can find. I'm on goddamn YouTube watching tutorials that promise to improve your aim by 99%. And they don't. They just don't do that. There's some impossible claims being made there, but generally there's some good tips being shared. I've digested so many tips that I feel like I've hardly retained anything though. I did retain things like crosshair placement, some movement basics, and controlling your weapon spread. But having these things in your head alone isn't going to make you good. Only consistent practice will do that. And having weapon skins. Oh, and Adderall. That's sure to increase your elo. I've been practicing a lot, but one of my main focuses has been getting good on one map. And that's why it's the majority of my footage. That map is Nuke. This is my favorite map in CS2. It's sort of a unique one in that it's very center-oriented. A site and B site stacked together like some sort of delicious sandwich. It's an odd one for sure, and I am determined to get cracked at it. I've been learning the lineups for the utility, like this molly from CT where I can block off the outside rush, or this smoke, just bank it off a box and you blocked off the T's sight line. I'm still learning the optimal way to use my utility, but the ones I do know make me feel like a better player. Hell, check this flash into A through HUD. Pretty nifty, huh? There are tons of little optimizations I've learned playing Nuke. For example, I used to go up to heaven by ladder every time. Didn't matter if there was someone up there waiting for a free headshot, I just did the same thing over and over. Whilst learning my utilities, I discovered another way to get up to heaven. Just climb up some bins, hop on a vent, and you're at the back of heaven. I felt both like a genius and a moron when I discovered this. On one hand, I couldn't believe I never noticed it before. On the other hand, it's another route to abuse to get the drop on the enemy. I was learning, and it felt great. Another thing on heaven, I used to go up ladders like this. Just finished doing my taxes on the way up. Now I go up like this. Zoom like a goddamn rocket. I've also been getting used to the callouts, which are super important. Of course, it seems like no one at Silver 1 does, but I don't have to be like them. Give me a good boy sticker for this one. I've even taken online quizzes on Nuke callouts to memorize them. Like, did you know this was called Control? And this one, it's called Tetris. Probably because of the boxes. These callouts give the team members valuable information on where the enemy is. I even learned a hack where you zoom out your map all the way to get a full view. This small improvement has been huge for my spatial awareness. There's something I can't get from these solo endeavors though, and that is good aim. Aim is complicated. I mentioned before that CS2 has this lovely little trait where your bullets go anywhere but where you're aiming. I saw this as a challenge to be beaten. In the spirit of conquering my aim problem, I downloaded a couple maps from the workshop. The two I want to highlight are Aim Trini and Recoil Master. Heck yeah. Aim Trini is generally best played with a pistol. You have a million settings you can tweak, like how many targets, the size, health. Dude, you can even make them move. That's called tracking, and it's the bane of my existence. I'll have to put in many more hours to get good at this one. I'm much better at flicking, where you quickly move your mouse onto a target. I'm likely better at flicking just because I've practiced it more. Makes sense, don't it? My CS2 buddy even commended me on my dedication to the grind, and I'm determined to outpace him. Only through sheer hours practiced will I achieve my goal. The other map I mentioned is called Recoil Master. As the name suggests, you master the recoil of your weapon. If you hadn't figured that out from the name, maybe check your frontal lobe. You may be the victim of a lobotomy. While firing your weapon, you have to follow the dots on the wall to perfectly counteract the crazy weapon spray. I started with the AK, that went okay I guess, but quickly I moved over to the M4A1. I got a cool skin for this one. The M4 has an easier recoil, I think. Just move it down and hook to the left, and then the rest of the bullets land on target. This became really easy on this map. I even started to get bored of it. That's when I realized I needed to make it more challenging. I started closing my eyes for every spray and then opening them to assess the damage. This lends itself to learning the mouse movement by memory, and I think it's really helped me master the M4 spray pattern. That being said, it's one thing to do on a solo practice map, it's another thing to do it in a game while panicking. I mean, how could I panic though? I got this, man. I have skins. Skins are a bunch of horse hockey, but it feels weird to play without them. I gave myself $5 when I started and bought a bunch of cheapos for guns I frequently use. $5 is not a lot, and I don't really prioritize skins. It's nice to have the option to spend 2,000 buckaroonies on a knife though. And just to put that into perspective, that's 1,000 Taco Bell tacos. Alternatively, if you were to put that into copies of Among Us, it's 666. This M4 skin is obviously my favorite. I like this one for the FAMAS. This Gumwall skin for the XM is mwah, chef's kiss. It would be so perfect if I ever used the XM. My other skins are so-so, except for this Mag 7 skin. It's really cool. That's why I'm only going to admire it from my inventory. I don't play with the Mag 7. Weapon skins kind of let you dress up your fear of the crushioning. You ball your anxiety up into these expensive flashy colors. CS2 doesn't care what your gun looks like though. It cares if you panic. In a gunfight, I am pretty prone to getting the fear, I admit. My mouse hand goes all twitchy, my aim breaks down. Sometimes I feel like I've completely lost my marbles, rolled right under the couch. CS2 is basically a horror game for me. I need to be able to turn the tables. I want to be the one who's feared. That's easier said than done. This game sucks me in. My heart starts pounding, my vision narrows, and before I know it, I've made some stupid mistake and gotten domed. That is what makes CS2 so enthralling though. Rarely have I played a game where the stakes feel this high. Every corner of the map feels dangerous. The playing field is technically even, but you're so vulnerable. One shot to the head and it's lights out, and that threat is always looming. Another reason for this palpable tension is the music, or rather the lack thereof. Between gunfights, it's silent aside from your own footsteps. That silence forces you to really listen in. Enemy movement, reloads, a dropped weapon, every sound matters. A good pair of noise-canceling headphones goes a long way here. And of course you can walk by holding shift to stay silent, but you move so slowly, you might as well be a snail with a machine gun. And you don't just respawn either. Once you're dead, you're out for the whole round. That makes survival feel crucial. It forces you to play cautiously, checking every angle, praying to get the drop on someone else first. But when you finally win in a clutch you had no business of surviving, that high hits different. You didn't just get lucky, you earned it by not folding under the pressure. CS2 might be the most stressful game I've ever loved. It is punishing, it's sweaty, greasy, makes me question my hand-eye coordination on a spiritual level. But I keep coming back, because when it clicks, when your aim lands, your utility works, and you clutch a round you absolutely shouldn't have won, there's nothing else like it. I'm still not great. I mean, I'm better than I was yesterday. And in a game this brutal, that's more than enough to keep me hooked. I've been MoistFob, thank you for watching. And hey, if you're struggling out there, whether it's in CS or in life, remember this. Improvement isn't linear, but it's possible. You're not alone, so be kind to yourself. See you in the next one.